It stands as tall as a two-story house, throws 40-plus tons per scoop, and feeds haul trucks like a dealer stacking chips. This isn't a loader. It's a heartbeat made of steel. Meet the Cat 994K, the ultra-class wheel loader that turns benches into payloads, minutes into money, and raw rock into progress, powering American jobs, cities, and everyday life today. Dawn over the pit. The night shift is fading, the air cold enough to sting. Headlamps bloom along the haul road like a slow-moving constellation. And then you hear it, low, steady, confident. The 994K idles in, tires taller than a man easing over ripples in the bench like they're painted on. Inside the cab, the world quiets. Cushioned suspension seat settles. Gauges sweep. Temperatures stabilize. Payload target flashes on the display. The operator's hands find the STIC trademark control. One palm to steer, select gears, and change direction. Left hand trims the hydraulic lever. A breath, a glance. The first truck backs into the slot and rocks to a stop. We measure time in tons. Watch how fast time moves when this giant starts to eat. Mines don't pay for motion. They pay for throughput. If each haul truck sits 3 minutes too long, the crusher goes hungry and the whole site bleeds money. That's the entire reason the 994K exists. Fewer passes, faster cycles, steadier feed. With typical payloads around 45 short tons per pass on the standard linkage, and around 42 short tons on the high lift. The math is brutally clear. Cat 785, around the 150 STI, about 4 passes. Cat 789, around the 200 STI, about 5 passes. Cat 793, around the 250 STI, about 6 passes. Fewer passes mean fewer chances to miss. Less idle, less fuel, more rock turned into revenue. Deep in that yellow frame lives a purpose-built V16, the Cat 3516E, throwing out roughly 1,800 plus horsepower in real-world ratings. But the number on a brochure isn't why the 994K wins days. It's the way that power becomes control. Torque rise matters more than bragging rights. When the bucket teeth bite into a stubborn pocket and the face tries to stall you, the engine doesn't sag, it punches up. That torque wave flows through the driveline, feeds the hydraulic pumps, and you feel the boom rise with the stubborn certainty of a tow chain tightening. No drama, no thrash, just lift. Hydraulic flow is prioritized, so the machine doesn't argue with itself. Boom, bucket, steer, no one fights for oil. You command, it responds, and the cycle clock gets shorter by tenths you can bank. Power moves rock, control moves schedules. The 994K is built for both. Heat that cooks electronics by lunch, cold that turns diesel into molasses by midnight. The pit is hard on everything. The 994K is unapologetically overbuilt for it. Structure members are heavily gusseted at stress points. Linkage pins and bushings are sized like they expect abuse and plan to outlive it. The chassis sits on tires the size of a living room wall, 58/85 to 57 class. Each one a small miracle of rubber and cord that turns megaton loads into controlled motion. Walk the machine, and you see the human thinking. Catwalks where you need them, non-slip plating, handrails, lighting for dark corners, grouped service points, guarded hoses. Maintenance isn't a favor someone does at 3 a.m. It's a path the design invites. Uptime is king. Everything else is a rumor. Close the door and you're in a cockpit. Noise drops. The seat floats. On the display, fuel burn, hydraulic temperature, axle temp, payload averages, pass counts. Cameras stitch together a 360-degree view so blind spots behave. This is where human plus machine becomes the advantage. Good operators don't just run a loader, they read the ground. The rock tells you a mood. Wet fines slump, dry shot rock fights back, clay lenses cling. On the 994K, you can feel it through the controls. Feather the tilt, catch the weight early, roll back just before spillage, skim the bench clean so trucks don't drag mess onto the ramp. Precision isn't slow, it's the fastest way to fast. The machine multiplies talent. Talent multiplies the machine. Specs can feel abstract until you put them next to your life. 45 short tons per scoop is roughly 30 mid-sized sedans by weight. Every pass a parking lot disappearing into the bed. The bucket can exceed 30 cubic yards in certain configurations. Think 2 living rooms of rock lifted and poured in seconds. Operating weight for typical market builds sits in the couple 100-ton range. Call it a steel apartment that actually moves. Traction management plus rimpull increases over the previous generation mean you climb the ramp with the confidence of a freight elevator, not a roller coaster. It's not just big, it's big in the ways that pay. Safety isn't a sticker, it's choices. Cameras that turn blind spots into visible space. Radar-based object detection that chirps before a near miss can happen. 3 points of contact everywhere a boot can step. Batteries and emergency shutoffs within reach. Ladders that don't punish knees. Lights that paint obstacles. The 994K bakes those details in. Why does it matter? Because the work only counts if everyone punches out. Production without protection is just luck waiting to run out. Here's the quiet miracle. The 994K doesn't just move more, it often moves cheaper per ton. On-demand throttle trims revs when torque isn't needed, then brings power instantly when the bucket loads up. That keeps fuel in the tank without putting seconds back on the clock. Add tighter pass counts and you're lowering dollars per ton while raising tons per hour. That spreads fixed costs thinner over more rock. The ledger smiles. Power is expensive, unless you aim it. Ask a veteran what a perfect scoop feels like, and they'll talk about sound and weight. The hush of the face just before the teeth break in. The sudden lightness as the bucket rolls to full. The easy swing. The smooth dump with no tailing. It's a small, private satisfaction, like a golf shot struck pure or a perfect weld bead. The 994K lets you chase that feeling at industrial scale. All day, every pass, turning skill into schedule. Satisfaction scales, so does success. From the ore in our batteries to the steel in our bridges, the KT994K is the silent partner behind everyday American life. It doesn't just load rock, it loads possibility, safer crews, steadier paychecks, stronger towns. If you crave stories where grit meets precision, tap like, subscribe, and ring the bell. New episodes, new giants, same heartbeat. Because when the world needs more, this loader shows up and turns heavy ground into human progress. Stay curious, stay loud, stay with us, always. BB Machine Moments. Feel the power. Respect the giants.